Jai Shri Krishna to all. Welcome to Path to Anandam Gita series. Freedom from pains and miseries to happy, healthy, and peaceful life. Based upon 108 mantras to awaken your soul. And Srimad Bhagavad Gita, my questions and God's answers. And today the series number 67, the secret formula for path to liberation. This is the most secret formula. We are going to embark on it today. Pranam to Hariharji Maharaj, Guruji, for his blessings, guidance, and to Lord Krishna for bringing us together this morning. I'm Satya Kalra, your host and founder of Path to Anandam, where we provide the tools to experience the ultimate eternal happiness, blissful life. And at the same time, help others, bring them on the same island of Anandam. So thank you very much for joining this morning. And today's series, how to attain liberation through Bhakti Yoga. We are working on Bhakti Yoga. So the theme is coming from Bhakti Yoga. All the teachings and the formulas are coming from Bhakti Yoga. And today's verses are chapter 12, 6 to 8. So what is undivided devotion? What is that formula? The secret formula for attaining liberation. And what does God promise us here? And how can we practice and do our homework? And our sankalpa today is, I love all, I serve all. And meditation and question and answers. So let's all pray together as a Arjuna who was very disheartened, confused, worried, fearful, where we are the Arjuna of today, experience the similar dilemmas. The dilemma could be different, but at the same time, we all have, and we all experience that Vishad, just like Arjuna. However, Arjuna made that Vishad, that delusion, that confusion into the Vishad Yoga. So use that confusion with the company of Lord Krishna. So through the path of delusion, worries, fear, he still finally got out. And where he initially said, Na jotat seti govindam, I'm not going to perform my duty. And now, after going through that blissful journey, which Lord Krishna took him on that blissful journey, and at the end he understood what his responsibility was. And he said, Karishe vachanam tao, I do as you advise. So let's all go through that blissful journey of self-transformation. and uplift ourselves and get out of that confusion. So let's all together seek the guidance very humbly and surrendering to Lord Krishna. Karpanye dosho pahat svabhava paschyami tvam dharma samura cheta yachaisyani nishchitam bruhitan me Shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapanyam. Shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapanyam. As Arjuna said, my heart is empowered by the weakness of pity. I have lost all my composure and my mind is confused about my duty, my dharma. I'm requesting you to tell me what is definitely good for me, not what I want, not what am I asking, but what is definitely good for me, for my liberation. I am your disciple. I surrender to you. Please advise me, guide me. And then Lord Krishna shows his mercy on him, and through 574 verses, out of 700 verses in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna spoke 574 verses, where initially from chapter 1 to 6, Karma Yoga, and then another one, Bhakti Yoga, second one, and then further it will be Gyan Yoga, but we have very successfully gone through the Karma Yoga, how to perform karma with love and devotion. That's where the Bhakti Yoga is, how we can live in the life of love and compassion and add to every activity. So we are on the chapter 12 right now, where the Bhakti Yoga starts from chapter 7 to 12, where Lord Krishna says, who am I? Vasudev Sarvamiti, how to experience with Akshar Yoga, with Om Mantra. And then chapter 9, the secret of Raj Yoga, the most secret of this yoga, the yoga of best yoga with wisdom and bhakti and karma. And in chapter 10, he helped how to see me, experience me all around in the mother nature, in Prakriti, along with your other spiritual practices. And chapter 11, where he showed us his Vishwarupa, transcendental form, at the request of Arjuna. And now we are at the last chapter of Bhakti Yoga, how to perform everything with love and devotion. So through all these yogas, we get out of confusion in the simple steps and experience, who am I? I'm Satchit Ananda. So on chapter 12, as I always said, we are in 12th grade now, final year of our high school, where we are learning union with God, self-realization through the path of love and devotion. Here you can see the hearts, love and devotion, how it is growing and growing. So path of love and devotion, the yoga of building a relationship with God, but same time, how to build the enrich our relationship through these teachings with this nature with the people. So ingredients of bhakti yoga, what are those? What are that path to ananda and path to ultimate freedom from miseries and sadness? So we have discussed in last session where Arjuna asked that who is the best yogi, who is the best devotee, who worship sakara roop or nirkara, formless or form, guna and nirguna, where Lord Krishna explains to him that both paths are good. However, the nirguna path is difficult to achieve. But he further now explains him, gives him one more ingredient here. He says, yes, it is difficult, but how you can do it? So this is where we are going to work on it today, and we are going to discuss about that. So he tells Arjuna that, of course, Kalesho hi dikrastesham, avyakta sakta chetasam, avyakta hi gatir dukam, devad bhirvyapte. The meditation path is difficult because we living in this world need association. So he says, however, you can still do it. And he says, ye tu sarvani karmani, mai sannasya matpara, annanev yogen mam dhyayantu passe. So he's saying, but those who dedicate all of their action, because we have to do action. No matter, even when I'm speaking right now, you are listening, this is all action. So we have to do the action. He says, but whatever action you perform, do it for me. Regard me as your supreme goal. He says, Anyanev yogen mam dhyayantu paste matpara. Consider me as the supreme goal of your life, worshipping me and meditating on me. Dhyan upasate. Every minute we should live in the consciousness of our supreme goal, aware of our goal, that this is the purpose of our life is self-realization and God realization. God realization when we do the sakara roop, when we do the murti puja, when we do the rituals, all that keeping God in mind, we have certain image of mind. And when we experience that, truly that image, that sakar roop within ourselves, that is God realization. But when we do on the Nirakar, where Lord Krishna says, Om mantra, Om is me. So when we do it on Nirakara through Om and experience ultimate Satchit Anand, who I am, that is the self-realization. So experiencing that on me with exclusive devotion, Anyanev yogen. But how? The love which has no expectation, no demand, that love and devotion. Hey Arjuna, then once you practice that, then I swiftly deliver them from the ocean of birth and death. Tesha aham samurdharta mrittu sansar sagarat bhavami nachirar partha maya vechichyetsam. So I take those people out of this ocean of birth and death, who are consciously united with me. Then they are with me, they are at my Param Dham. Even Vivekananda ji, he said, All work is worship. Every duty is holy, and devotion to duty is the highest form of the worship of God. Why it is the highest form? Because we have to do something anyhow. And if we just put a simply love and compassion and devotion, for example, if I'm cooking a prasad, I'm making a prasad, and the people who eat will eat the prasad, not just the dinner or lunch or just the food. So with that bhava, if I'm working in the office, I'm just performing my duty with love and compassion without expecting any returns. That's where he says, Karmanye vadika raste ma phaleshu kadachan ma karma phal hetu bhur mate sango astu karmani. Do your work for the benefit of all, sarva bhutite rata. Whatever you do, even you are washing your hands, that's the action. Touching the tap, think about God, say Om Mantra, whatever way resonates with you, but think about God. Whatever activity we do, we should consider that work is a worship. All the work, even I'm breathing, that itself is a work. That is a worship to my Atma. I'm looking at somebody, looking with love and compassion, speaking to someone with love and compassion. That itself is a worship. So Vivekananda says, any activity you do, consider that a worship to God. When you are doing any work, do not think of anything beyond. Do it as worshiping, as the highest worship, and devotee your whole life. So become a devotee and devote your whole life to it for the time being. So whatever we do from morning to evening, consider every activity as a worship. And Lord Krishna then promises, Teshaham samurdharta nattu sansar sagrat. From this ocean, I put it especially this ocean here. This is the, look at this, birth, death, recycle in this universe. From this ocean, he says, then I will come. So here he says, look at this one. Every activity, example, right here, whether you are in the office, whether you are a plumber, whether you are a housewife, whether you are the CEO, whatever, whoever you are, every activity could be a worship. And you can see it here. Whether you are at the temples or gurdwaras, of course, those are the activities considered to be worshipping, doing the rituals. But the key here is any activity, put love and compassion, because all those activities will take us to supreme goal of our life, which we have set it. Actually, Lord Krishna has previously given us this part quite a bit. And he says, for when we live in the supreme consciousness, it's not the first time he's saying, but here he's telling us very clearly that when you do the action, when you do the meditation, then see here the image, how Lord Krishna comes in a different form to save his devotee. Here, he's showing that I will come, I will lift you from this dukhalaya, ocean of birth and death. Why? If you really consider this ocean of birth and death, every day, every moment, every second, somebody is born and somebody dies. Actually, study shows, and the data shows that every second, 2 persons are being born. However, every second, 3.8 people are dying. So every second, in fact, it shows per day it's 1.62 thousand people die. Though the population is increasing, doubling it, but birth and death, this is where Lord Krishna says, birth and death, the people who are born, they are going to die. We are all going to die. But the people who are united with Lord Krishna, living in the, doing the selfless service, meditation with love and compassion, then those people are not actually dying. They're going to the higher kingdom, Param Dham, uniting with Lord Krishna. Their death is not a regular death. And that's what Lord Krishna says that. And we know many saints and seers, they are karma yogis, they are truly like Guru Nanak ji, he left the body, but his death was not a regular death. Vivekanand ji, it was not a regular death. Shankaracharya ji, it was not a regular death. So these people, of course, they leave the body. Even the Lord Rama, Krishna, they all left the body because they came for some purpose. So we have a chance here. We can convert our regular life, what we are living. Though we have to perform our duty, we can continue to do the same kind of activities, walk on their path. And that's where Baba says, serving selflessly is serving God. Love all, serve all. So we should make every activity as a selfless service to God. Seva, seva, seva. So then how to get liberation? Here is the secret formula. And I put it here. It's a teamwork. Why it is teamwork? Because Lord Krishna says, Mayeva man adatsu, may buddhim niveshya, nivsesti mamev, at chintam, at urdham na sanshya. Mayeva man adatsva, may buddhim niveshya, nivsesti mamev, at urdham na sanshya. So he says, therefore, focus your mind on me alone and let your intellect dwell in me. Then you will surely attain me without any doubts. So he's saying, focus your mind on me. See, Lord Krishna, this is not the first time he said. How many times he said about buddhi? I was just looking at it, and this buddhi, just the buddhi itself in Bhagavad Gita has given 43 plus times has. And very first time where we heard that he explains in very beginning, he gives the causes of all the miseries, and he says, Dhyayato Vishyan Punsa, Sangasteshu Pujayate, Sanga Sanjayate, Kama, Kama, Krodho Bijayate, Krodha Bhavati Samoha, Samoha. What happens? Buddhi Nasha. Buddhi Nasha Pranshati. He wants us that the Buddhi Nasha, all these 5 plus 2 enemies, Kam, Krodh, Lo, Moh, Ankar, resentment, jealousy, all these are the cause of our Buddhi Nasha. But then he gives us over and over, even in the same chapter, he tells us how we should work. He said, Buddhi yukto jahatiye ubbe sukrat dushkrata tasmad yogaya yogasya yoga karmesu koshram. So he says, every activity, when you do selflessly, offer all to me, sarva bhutiterata, that is the yoga karmesu koshram. That is your karma yoga. You do it with your koshalta, your best of the best wisdom, your best effort. But he doesn't stop right there. He also further explains us in chapter 10, if you remember that, we had a special session on this particular verse. It says, Tesham satatata yukta yam bhajtam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yen mamu pyantite. So the people who worship me through bhakti, whoever do my bhajan all the time, and he explains there also, not bhajan that you just keep singing bhajans. Of course, those are beautiful, and that gives you good connection, like in gurdwaras and temples, and when the bhajan, singing that part, all those things can give us a connection. But he says it's further than that. And this is what the chapter 12 is. It gives us the true meaning of bhakti. And he says that Mayeva man adasya buddhi nivesha. How can you put your buddhi? Here we also have discussed that, and I had shown this image previously, that our body is where Lord Krishna also explains here that our body is what? It is in Upanishads, body is like a charioteer. Our sense organs, all these senses, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, is all and is touching, which are the functions of these senses, like seeing, hearing, taste, touching. All this is the function of the senses. But the senses are the lowest part of our body. God says, but you can see the senses here. You know that all these senses which I show here, they're right here. Mind is higher than the senses. Where here in all these reins in Lord Krishna's hands, but here actually the charioteer's hands. That is mind, and beyond that is buddhi. So the mind is higher than senses. Buddhi is higher than mind. See where the buddhi is sitting, which is intellect. And then the Atma, which is sitting right behind. And there is a beautiful verse in Bhagavad Gita. It says, Indriyani Paranihu Indriyebhya Paramana Manastatu Para Buddhir Buddhe Parastastu Sa. Means the Indriyas are the lower. Here you can see that senses are higher than the body. Mind is higher than senses. Intellect is even higher than that. And then the spirit is, the Atma is higher than that. So experience that through meditation and just give it all to God. Let it go. Let go and let God direct our life. So once we go on that path, that's the secret. So here it says teamwork. Our pure efforts of action, selfless action, meditation, living in God's consciousness. And then God promises, that's the God's promise. He says, you will surely attain me. Nisyasti mamevat urdhyam na sanshya. You will definitely attain me. And you will attain me means what? You will go beyond this birth and death, and you will get this nirvana, moksha, whatever you call it, liberation. But the simple formula here is bhakti, selfless seva, meditation, living in his consciousness. Because no matter how much seva we do, meditation is the part of it. And that is the surest way to liberation. So all the formulas are here. This is action, karma, devotion, bhakti, meditation, and then God's blessing takes us to ultimate Param Dham. So the purpose of our life is liberation. We have discussed that previously. Our purpose is here only one. So how to stop the renunciation cycle? In summary, from the lower jivas, could be then any animal life, could be the humans, and then from the humans experience the being, not just the being, but the human being, where Buddha also said, no matter how hard the past, you can always begin again. So sometimes we feel like, oh, our life is gone and how much time we have left and how can we do it? Here, even Krishna said before, even you start at this moment, he said it in chapter 9, even the most sinners, the sinners, if he decide to do it right now. So the choice is ours. How fast we want to go, how much devotion, life we want to spend toward it, how much time, because time is going, whether we want it or not. Our breaths are, every breath is shortening. We are going closer to leaving this body. But make this life, this death, not as a regular death, but the death, वो death जो हमको प्रभु से मिला है, जो डेथ नहीं हो, जो डिवोशन के थ्रू हमको डिवाइन से मिला है. So going from death to divinity, that is a purpose and that is a path and that is a secret. So the choice is ours. So we should make the commitment, remind ourselves every morning that this is the purpose of our life is. So we should practice with love and compassion, with Shraddha. So again, practice, practice, practice. Start your day with love. Spend your day with love and end your day with love. That's what Satya Sai Baba says. So live 100% in God's consciousness, because there's nothing else in this world. Vasudev Sarvamiti, all is God. So give everything to whatever we do, we just let it go. So start our day in the morning, whatever resonates with you, and whether read Bhagavad Gita or Om Mantra or Guru Granth Sahib reading or Ramayana or whatever Upanishads or whatever suits you, whatever you like. There is no restriction to it. It's a total free will. God has given us a total free will. But we should continuously live in that consciousness and do our practices every day. Take care of our body, take care of our breath, combine our breath with our daily activities, not just with the yoga time, but every time, whatever we do, we should have a focus on our breath with Om Mantra. And during the day, whatever we do, service, consider that as a service and just let go. And then in the evening, continue practice, but end our day with meditation, inspecting our day, inquiring, how did I do it? What do I need to improve upon it? And once we continue to do that, then our mind, I call it a software of our mind, will change and finally attain the liberation by selfless service, love and devotion, with Shraddha, with faith, with meditation. Then we experience ultimate happiness, peace, anandam, good health, and union with supreme power, and experience, who am I? I am no different than Satchit Ananda. And then just let it go. Sarva dharman paritajye, mamekam sharanam braj, aham tvam sarpapebhyo, moksha shami ma shuche. God again promises us, ma shuche, don't worry about it. Just Follow these steps, very simple steps. Whatever we do, offer to God with love and compassion. Nothing more. So God's promise over and over and over. So we should not doubt that what would happen if I do this, galti ho gayi, I made this mistake. God says, don't worry about it. I'm with you. You continue like driving the car in a wrong, goes little bit in the different lane. The steering wheel is in your hand, and that steering wheel is your bhakti, your action, your selfless action, your meditation. Just bring it back through that and continue on your path, and you will experience ultimate freedom. So the time for homework. Be aware and ask yourself and myself. Self-inquiry, swadhyaya abhyasnam. Live in awareness and give everything to God. So I offer all to God, but we should ask that question. Remind ourselves, do I have a supreme goal of self-realization? Is my goal is self-realization? Do I live 100% in God's consciousness? Do I have a faith? Do I live in Shraddha? Do I do my seva and surrender and let it go? Do I continue to do meditation and offer all to God? These questions help us remind us over and over and over and bring us back to our path. So our sankalpa for again the repeat, I live in God's consciousness. I live in love and compassion consciousness because God is love. I love all. I serve all. And then I experience healthy, happy, and peaceful life. So here again, this is so beautiful. It reminds me over and over that just the seed of a bhakti, devotion, seva, once we put it how little by little with our nurturing, with meditation, it grows, and it finally gives us the flowers and fruits where we can share with others too. And then look at that Bhagavad Gita and Lord Krishna, how much he's helping us, growing us. So key here is our sankalpa. Sankalpa of what? Sankalpa of our bhakti, our yoga, union, ultimate freedom, nirvana, liberation. And then little by little by little. Here again says, Shanai Shanai Uttar Med Buddhya Buddhi Grahita. Here it says, little by little that buddhi, intellect will merge with supreme power because it gets so connected. See the difference between, the distance between buddhi and the Atma is only 5%. There is a beauty, I had shown that before. There is so much connection. Here is the senses, here is the mind, here is the buddhi, and here is the Atma. It's just the lineage. And so that buddhi will totally merge into Paramatma. So let's all practice with our sankalpa. So thank you very much for Bhakti Yoga, path to Anandam, and going through this secret formula for attaining not just path to Anandam, eternal happiness, but liberation of all the miseries. So total freedom, total liberation from pains and miseries, and live in happy, healthy, and peaceful life. So thank you very much for attending.